Hello, welcome to Dan Multi-Skills. In today's video, I'm going to show you on how to reinstall Windows 11 from scratch. If you have already created Windows 11 in installation media, you're good to go and you can follow my guide. If you haven't, I have another video created on how to create Windows 11 in installation media. In another word, on how to create Windows 11 bootable USB. I'll put the link in the description below if you need to watch it, or if you haven't already created Windows 11 in installation media. If you have, plug the USB and then power on the machine. As soon as you power on the machine, you would need to immediately press one of the F keys. It depends on the motherboard manufacturers. For example, for Gigabyte, it's mainly F8 or F12. For Asus, F7 or F8. Alternatively, you can change the boot sequence in the BIOS. You can go to the boot option and change the boot priority and make sure that the USB installation media is set to the first boot priority. Once you've done that, you would need to save changes and reset. Then it will boot from the USB. As soon as you click save changes and reset, it will boot from the USB. Or if you have used one of the F keys, and then it will present you with please select a boot device, then you select the USB and it will take you to the installation. Then I will take you through step by step on how to successfully reinstall Windows 11. You can choose your language. For example, I want English United Kingdom. Click next and then just click install now. You will then be presented for you to type the product key. Please note, the majority of machines these days, the product key has been deployed and injected to the motherboard. What that means is you will not be presented with this. For example, it will automatically bypass it because it's digitally injected to the motherboard, so you don't have to type the key manually. If you presented with that, you can just, for the time being, you can just click I don't have a product key. Now you can choose your edition. Again, if you try to reinstall the operating system, if you originally ordered the PC or a laptop, for example, with Windows, for example, 11 Home or Pro, it will bypass it again. But because I have selected that I don't have the product key, for example, that's why I will be presented which edition of Windows I want to select. For example, my machine came with Windows 11 Home. I'm just going to click next. Click I accept the Microsoft software license terms and make sure you select the second option, which is custom install Windows only advanced. Now what we need to do, if you have a number of partitions created here, for example by default, if you try to reinstall Windows, you will have a number of partitions, potentially 4 partitions. If you do, all you need to do is click on each individual partitions and then delete until you're left with, for example, it depends how many drives you have. Please make sure you back up your data. If you have backed up your data on the D drive, make sure you only delete the drive where the Windows was originally installed. Alternatively, if you've just swapped your drives, for example, you've bought a brand new M.2 SSD or SSD, then it should just show unallocated space, that there is nothing on this particular drive. If there is any, for example, you can just delete it until you're left with unallocated space. Highlight it and then click next. The installation will begin. All you need to do is be patient. It shouldn't take too long. It depends on what drive you have. If you have a traditional hard drive, it will take a little bit time. If you have a standard SSD, then it shouldn't take too long. If you have M.2 SSD, it will be pretty fast. Once this is done, then the rest will be in your hand. All you need to do is create and set up your machine. Create a username, password, PIN, sign in with your email or Microsoft account, and you're good to go. And that's how you reinstall Windows 11. If you do have any issues or if you have any questions, please leave me a comment. I will respond as soon as I can.